42 years of Islamic rule has brought the people of Iran to a miserable life. The corruption, the violence, the killings. And the people of Iran have come to a point that Islam is not our solution. Islam is our problem, and we need to get rid of it.
Welcome back to the Rosenberg Report. I'm talking to Dr. Hormoz Shariat. He is the Billy Graham of Iran. He himself was once an Iranian Shia Muslim. He and his wife used to march on the streets of Tehran in 1979 saying death to Israel, death to America. And then they thought, well, maybe not death to America quite yet. We'd like to go to graduate school over there in America. They both went, and God used a whole series of events to cause them to leave Islam and come to faith in Jesus Christ. You can read about it in this amazing book, Iran's Great Awakening. And I wrote the foreword. Your people, the people of Iran, are coming to faith in record numbers. And we're going to talk about that. But let's start with your assessment of the political situation inside Iran. You've got the ongoing revolution going on inside Iran right now. People are being murdered, tortured, arrested. What can you tell us? What is the situation right now?
You know, there is no awakening. There is no awake without ache. Wherever we are in trouble personally, when a nation is trouble, when a nation is suffering, that's the foundation for revival. That's what has happened in Iran. 42 years of Islamic rule has brought the people of Iran to a miserable life. The corruption, the violence, the killings. And the people of Iran have come to a point that Islam is not our solution. Islam is our problem, and we need to get rid of it. And this didn't happen overnight. So the rejection of Islam is not an overnight emotional thing. It has taken them over 40 years, gradually traveling, journeying towards away from Islam and towards Christ. Not everybody is interested in Christianity, but when you compare Islam and Christianity, the message of the gospel is very, very attractive, completely opposite of what Islam is. So when they reject Islam, they look around, oh, there is exact opposite of it, and that's Christianity. That's why Iran has the fastest growing evangelical population in the world.
It's amazing. And you just went through the Persian-speaking world, just celebrated Nowruz. Why don't you describe what Nowruz is and why it wasn't as a happy occasion this year?
Yeah, Nowruz is an ancient celebration of spring, and the government of Iran has been against it, trying to destroy it. But it can. The more they try to stop it, the more people are celebrating it. And because they want to go to the back roots, they're saying, oh, Islam came and destroyed our country. Look at us, who we were. Look at Cyrus the king. He wrote the first human rights declaration, and we helped the Jews in the past. Cyrus set the Jews free. We loved the world. The world loved us. So the people are going back to the roots, saying we are not Islam. Islam was imposed upon us. Arabs attacked us. So neither Islam is our religion, and we are not Arabs. As you know, Iranians are not Arabs. So there is a movement against Islam in Iran. That's why Nowruz, the New Year, Nowruz means new day. The New Year celebration is so important. This year is different because of all the killings and executions and arrests of so many people the last 4 or 5 months. It's different, but still people saying we are going to celebrate it no matter what has happened, because it's a political statement for Iranians to celebrate Nowruz.
Why is the regime using so much brutality right now to sort of quash this particular uprising? Why not let give people a little bit more freedom?
They know that if they give people freedom, they will lose control. And people will not stop. That's why hijab, the covering, Islamic covering of women, they were standing so hard against it because they knew if we let that go, people will continue to demand more and more and more freedom. It's like the forefront of the opposition. Those against Islam, they're attacking, oh, we want hijab. We want to remove hijab. And people are saying, what's the big deal? The covering, the women's covering, is that the big of a deal? It is, because it's a beginning of change. And if the government lets that go, people will demand more and more freedom.
Talk to us about what you're seeing happen in the country you grew up in and that you love.
It's a move of God. And of course, the Lord uses events in our lives, events in nations to bring awakening to them. And that's what has happened in Iran. It's a move of God, but the Lord has used the situation in Iran. The Iranians were ready to live and die for Islam in the 80s. And they did. In the Iran-Iraq war, they died. And first, intellectuals started questioning Islam, then more and more people. But recently, the last 10 years, the economy has been so bad. Most of people don't care about politics. As long as they have a comfortable life, they don't care. But what has happened the last few years is the economy has been so bad that even the common people and people with low income are in streets. The people of low income, they're usually supporter of Islam and supporter of the government. So in the last few years, the segment of the society that used to support Islam, used to support the government, they came out on the streets saying, where is my bread? I cannot even provide for my family. What did they get? They got killed. That caused this segment of society, very religious, to start questioning Islam, saying, what am I believing? Is this the true Islam? And freedom from Islam starts by questioning. In Islam, you're not allowed to question Islam. It's a blasphemy. Right. So the questioning is a breakthrough. So here, the low income, the religious segment of the Iranian society started questioning Islam. And after a few years, they came to conclusion, Islam is not from God. I've heard statements like Islam is from Satan. I don't say that because of my love for Muslims, but Muslims, they themselves say that. So there is a movement of God, and that's why, Joel, the last few years, the number of salvation, we have been on the air for over 20 years. The last few years, the number of salvation, the rate of salvation has jumped 10 to 20 times. We have more people have come to Christ through our satellite channel the last 2 years than the previous 20 years. It is amazing. Now, why? Because the people of Iran are questioning Islam and rejecting Islam.
This is interesting because I think, the Bible speaks of God saying, I'm going to shake all the nations. You had the Cultural Revolution in China, all the missionaries kicked out, many, many Christians killed. Maybe the number of Christians in China went down to maybe 250,000, which by Israel standards would be a lot, but by China standards was almost nobody anymore. And now you've got 100, 120 million followers of Jesus in a country that you're not free to come to faith in Christ. You're going to face persecution, arrest, murder. And the same is true in Iran. So why are people coming to faith in Jesus in Iran, even though they're going to risk being arrested, imprisoned, tortured, even killed? And how many would you estimate have come to faith since 1979?
Well, Iranians come to Christ knowingly what they're doing. They know they don't want Islam. They're looking around. And most of them, by the way, are saying, I don't want religion at all. I don't want any religion. I want to be a secular person. And they're reasonable. They're saying, I myself, without God, just my own morality, I do better than these mullahs. I'm a better person not being a Muslim than being a Muslim. But they think all religions are the same. And when they hear about Christ, it's so attractive, Joel. God has written this in their hearts. When I share the gospel on our channel, people are attracted to it because it resonates with what God has written on their hearts. When I ask a Muslim, what do you believe about God? Most Iranians say, I don't believe this God that Islam is telling me. I believe a God that is loving and loves us and wants us to love one another, a God that forgives us and wants us to forgive one another. Be not knowing, they describe the God of the Bible. That's why so many are coming to Christ.
You and I, from the moment we met each other, maybe, 15 years ago or so, maybe more, We've been talking about what does God say about the future, and why don't you talk about Jeremiah 49 and Ezekiel 38? What does God tell us about the future of Iran and Israel?
Yes, when you look at the Bible prophecies, Ezekiel 38 is very negative. Iran, Persia, attacking Israel with other nations like Russia. And then you look at Jeremiah 49 at the end of it, it's very positive. I will set my throne in Iran. Which one? The Lord, these are opposite of each other. And the amazing thing, Joel, is that both of these prophecies are happening, are moving towards fulfillment today, together. How? Because the government of Iran are saying, we want to wipe Israel off the map. But the people of Iran are saying, why? We love Israel. Right. Why should we hate them? I mean, I've seen people of Iran saying, the government says death to Israel, and the people saying, why? What have they done to us? You are the one.
Right, we've actually seen, I've actually watched videos in the last few months of Iranians saying death to Khamenei, the supreme leader. Maybe I haven't seen all the videos of the last 40 years, but this seems a striking change in what's going on.
That's right. Death to Khamenei is all over Iran. But when they say death to Israel, they say, why? You have made our lives miserable, not Israel. So death to you. That's what they're coming to. Now, going to Ezekiel.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's stick with Jeremiah 49, because that whole concept of at the beginning of Jeremiah 49, it talks about God's going to judge specifically the leadership and remove the leadership of Iran. It doesn't talk about a massive judgment against the people. And in fact, as you say, God says, I'm going to move my throne there. Now, I'm talking to you literally from Jerusalem. The throne of God is going to be, Jesus Christ sitting in a fourth temple right behind me. We'll have a front row seat here on TBN. But listen, for many people, it's confusing. Why is God moving his throne to Iran if we know he's moving his throne to Jerusalem in the millennial kingdom? So give us the answer.
Well, yeah, Jeremiah 3:17 and Jeremiah 49:38, both are going to happen. We know that every prophecy will come to pass. The kingdom of God is for the whole nations. And he says, my kingdom is not of this earth. So maybe we are talking about more of a spiritual kingdom. And maybe I'm just suggesting, maybe Iran will be the center of reaching out to the Gentiles, and Israel will be the center of reaching out to Jews, and both of them to the world. That's the kind of God we have. But both prophecies are there. Jeremiah 3:17, most people know about it, but Jeremiah 49:38, not many people know. So what's happening in Iran should not surprise us. Iran will be the first Islamic nation that turns to Christ.